2017 will come to order. Commissioner Harvey will lead us in the invocation, and then I will lead us in the pledge. So if you all will stand.
Please. So, our dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day, because this is the day you have made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Thank you for giving us the fortitude, giving us the wisdom to conduct the business affairs of this great community for this great utility. And Father, bless everyone that will join in our discussion. Father, give us understanding, give us privilege to enjoy these fruits that you are giving to us. These things we ask in your Son Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, do we have anybody for public comment? No? Okay, we have a presentation of the American flag to BGJWSC, so you want to step up?
Yep. Commissioner, it's always a privilege to speak for you and see at our meetings, especially today. It's a privilege. Dana Reed is a GIS analyst with Planning Construction Team. You may not have met, well, you did meet Dana at our presentations to the new commissioner, especially in February. Dana's been on an adventure abroad, serving our country, and he has returned here this month, and he has a special presentation he'd like to make to the chairman and to the executive director and board of commissioners. Dana.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. While serving, thought it'd be a good idea to have the flag flown for the commission, just a way to say thank you to the company, to Todd, to everybody that served before me, that will afterwards. Here it is. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We'll step up here, Dan.
Well,
Maybe come move way out here.
yeah.
Thank you very much. What's the say? Oh, all right, we do that? Yeah. The plaque that goes with the flag that Dana's presented us today says, "This is the flag of the United States of America that's flown proudly over Gecko Base,
Yes, sir.
Gecko Base, Kandahar, Afghanistan. The front line of operation enduring freedom, 18 March 2017, in honor of the Brunswick-Glynn Joint Water and Sewer Commission, in appreciation for their support of Afghanistan operations." So thanks again, Dana.
Very good.
We'll move to committee reports. Compliance and legislative, Commissioner Brown?
Mr. Chairman, we have not met since we had a regular session meeting and made a report at that time, so we'll meet again, I think, next week.
That's, no, facilities.
We will meet again this coming Thursday, June 8th, 3 o'clock.
Okay. Finance, we'll meet the 15th of June. Human Resources?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, thank you. We met this morning at 10, and there are at least one motion to come out of our meeting today. And that motion is, we had a discussion, I should say, we had a discussion about position change for FY 2017-18. During that discussion, we discussed about putting forth putting forth a motion to hire, to go ahead and put approval of hiring a few positions along with the budget. So there were 3 positions that are funded by the fees that will be collected for the developers doing the more development, which are the project manager for planning and construction, and also planning construction utility inspector, and also hydraulic modeling tech. Those 3 positions come out of that. We approve that, and also approve a finance, a CIS analyst, and a customer service person. Along with that, system pumping and maintenance, I&I tech, and also electrician. So coming out of our meeting with discussion with about the budget and position changes, that's something that we discussed. We also discussed recruiting and termination stats, statistics. We had an in-depth conversation, in-depth discussion on Director of Operations position, which we decided to table for further discussion. Other than that, so we would put forth a motion to continue with the hiring process for finance, 2 positions in finance, 3 positions in planning and construction, and 2 positions in system pumping and maintenance. So if one of my committee members would entertain, would put forth that motion, or do we do it? I don't know that.
Do you really want to make a motion for that? Because don't you want to wait to see if the budget goes along with it?
Well, we make, I guess, a motion that we are accepting for approval of those positions.
Contingent on the budget.
You're right, contingent on the budget. Because if we have to do cutbacks, then the positions may get cutbacks.
Well,
Yeah, the budget won't be passed until June 29th.
okay, we'll be bringing forth these positions to be for the approval. Okay, continue on the budget. And that's all I have, sir, for the human resources.
Thank you very much. Public Information and Customer Relations?
Mr. Chairman, the Public Information Customer Relations Committee has not met since the previously scheduled meeting, which we reported on, and the next meeting is scheduled for July the 5th, Tuesday at 2 o'clock in this room. We may want to entertain rescheduling of that since it's the day after the 4th of July. And I think we can do that offline to see if everybody will be able to participate or not.
Okay. Anything else? For approval, we have the minutes from May 18th on the regular meeting, and the minutes for the executive session are going to be passed out now. So please peruse the minutes, and I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion to accept the minutes of the May 18, 2017 regular meeting, so we can do the necessary changes. Second.
Okay? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Is that motion for the executive minutes also?
No, but I will make a motion
Okay.
to accept the minutes from the May 18, 2017 executive session, so we can do the necessary changes.
Second. Okay, all those in favor? Okay, the minutes are approved. Okay. We're to the first discussion item, which is tap sales and construction plans policy clarification.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Basically, what I wanted to do today for the commission's purposes is to clarify our policy. In the rate resolution, currently states that we've got to, for a new development, we must sell the taps for that development in its entirety on or before final approval by the Joint Water and Sewer Commission staff, review and final approval. For clarification purposes, we want to continue to enforce that policy, but with one stipulation that we have final plans ready for review in hand when we sell the taps to them. We've had, at this point, we've had developers come in with plan or without plans, with just concepts wanting to buy taps. The appearance is that they're just picking up taps to hold on to them for a future date for whatever purposes. But we don't want to be issuing taps unless we know there's real work about to occur. So that's a stipulation that I'm going to place with staff, that we see planned before we sell taps in the future. Plans ready for final review, that is to say, go to the county and to our staff.
I guess, I got a question. Why would we sell a tap to a development rather than sell a tap to a building permit?
The short, simple answer is that, and I thought the same thing many times, but it's kind of a darn if you do, darn if you don't. But for this area, with the knowledge that people have of sewer capacity issues, if you don't have a tap in hand to sell a lot, you're not gonna sell a lot likely in this area unless you sell to somebody who's just totally ignorant of the situation here. The only way for developers to develop and then sell parcels out from the development is to have the taps in hand when they go to market those lots. So this is our best opportunity to control whether or not they're legitimately needing the taps when they come to buy it. I wish we could do it the way you said, because that would seem more timely, even greater timeliness, but it doesn't work out for the market. Any other questions?
To sell a tap, wouldn't you have to have a legal address?
You do.
Okay, so the developer at that time doesn't have per se partial legal addresses, does he, or does he?
He should by the time we get the plans and we're ready to do it. If he doesn't, that's something that can be achieved.
Through the planning process, they would have.
At worst, contingent on getting that legal address established. Nothing else. That covers it for me.
No, what needs to happen, this is just a
Just a
discussion.
clarification.
And let you all know what the thinking is. But we haven't structured the language of it yet, the staff hasn't. And it should be discussed in the facilities meeting next week. And then the finance committee meeting. And then it should be incorporated into the draft rate resolution.
I'm not even sure, Mr. Dormley's here today. We may not need to make a clarification, additional written clarification, or do we?
Not on that, really, this is not a new policy. This has always been the practice of the JWSC, is that we have to have plans that are ready to be approved prior to issuing a tap. What has happened is the language in the rate resolution has led people to believe that they can come in and buy taps at any point. And we want to clarify that no, it has to be concurrent with the approval of the plans.
Okay, so it doesn't require a rate resolution, it just requires a letter that we can give people that says what our policy is on it?
There is going to be a change in the rate resolution. We're just taking out a couple of words.
Okay,
We should clarify that.
it's a clarification of the policy.
Okay, so there is a change.
Well, this discussion today was clarification of the policy, but we're also going to change the rate resolution so that that argument is no longer viable.
Okay, there's nothing for the commission to approve, correct?
No, sir.
Okay, just an understanding of our policy.
Right.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on that? Okay. Make sure we're all okay. All right,
We got a lot of people studying what we do very hard.
I'm sure we do. Okay. The next item is an update of the R&R capital projects.
Commissioners, attached to this commission discussion, you'll also find the map that we include that shows the locations of R&R projects throughout Glynn County. Number 41. And this is the monthly status report of our capital projects. And first we'll discuss the ones that have construction in progress. State Route 99 waterline extensions, that is being constructed by Seaboard Construction Company. We have a contract for them to do that work. That project has slowed down to some extent due to some existing utilities that have been discovered to be in the way that were unknown, and we're currently working with Georgia DOT to work through those issues. A good bit of the project is complete. All the water line down Green Swamp Road and then down 299 is in the ground and is active, and we're working diligently to get that line, that loop completed down 341, and work with GI on the issues on 99. So, but it is still in motion. Project 319 Urbana sewer replacement. Yes.
Are we going to discuss what we plan on doing to move forward on this?
We can, Mr. Kline, maybe we'll go over briefly the discussion we had regarding the current status of the construction and where we think we're going to go to try to facilitate the end of this project.
Sure thing.
Let's kind of lay out the bloody
Brief history.
issues.
Okay. Brief history, I'll try to keep it brief. This project is a number of years old in concept and in design, if you will. I think it reaches back 2012 or so. I'm not real sure when it began. But it was designed originally, Georgia DOT would not allow the line to be placed within the right-of-way. Then the attempt was made to design it outside the right-of-way by obtaining easements on private property. That took a number of years, I believe, of attempts that were made to do that. There were gaps that could be filled. DOT was approached again by Joint Water Sewer. They relented and then allowed Joint Water to place that line within the back 5 feet of the right-of-way. The plans had been designed outside the right-of-way. They were quickly changed to bring it back within the 5 feet, back 5 feet of the GDOT right-of-way. And then they were placed on the street for bidding very quickly. It was a pretty quick process. Insufficient vetting was probably done. There was some age there on the plans, the original design. In the meantime, between the original design and by the time Georgia DOT allowed the water line to be relocated inside the right-of-way, utilities were placed up and down 341 in particular, on 99. So by the time the construction began, contract mobilized went out there, it was discovered that, lo and behold, now there's utilities in the way. Okay, not a good time to find out utilities are in the way during construction. So it's been a process working with Georgia DOT since then to allow us to encroach further towards the edge of pavement on 99. The other issue on this project is DOT has a planned road widening in 99. If you remember when this project was originally awarded, or DOT presented to allow us to right of way, it was with the caveat that if and ever they did widen the 99 right of way, we would remove or replace our water line at our own expense. So, working with DOT, trying to determine what their plan is for widening, it's another issue that throws in here. I think we're going to talk more in detail probably after this meeting, especially, I think it's worthy.
Commissioner Brown.
Right, to get the full background. But to summarize, we're working, we have some backup plans in place when we saw these issues bubbling up. Actually going back out and obtaining some easements outside of the right of way, it's looking favorable for us to be able to do that. Get out of DOT's right of way moving to private easement. So the emphasis is getting this loop finished and connected. It's vital, it's an extremely important project with the school there in McKenzie. It's also the Glynn Fire Station on Grants Ferry. Cap Johnson calls me at least once a month, sometimes more, when's our water line be here. We're working very hard to come up with a solution.
Right now, I think the things I gathered yesterday, the key things we were going to do is try to finish up the pieces that get the school and the fire station the much needed water they need in the near term. We may forego or delay the more complicated aspects of Highway 99 project to a later date.
Good point. Yeah, that's a good point, Mr. Junkin. As he said, we have a pretty fair solution to get us from 341 to where we're stubbed out down Georgia Power easement from Green Swamp Road right now. Connect that loop. Then we will have the former county or North Mainland former city systems loop that will be looped at that point. The section that may make more sense at this time is to hold off on is that section 99 until the DOT determines exactly what their widening plans are. And then we work with them once that's known. What they're trying to determine is if they're going to expand to the south or expand to the north. A lot of that's still up in the air. But I think it's wise for us to hold off on that section, possibly work with them so we're not end up relocating the water line after a couple of years. That wouldn't make sense.
Any questions, commissioners? Okay.
All right, thank you for the questions. Urbana sewer replacement, that project is substantially complete, and they're just working through punch list items now. We'll look at about a week to 2 weeks before they're demobilized. And we're working closely with the city engineer, Mr. Alberson, on any issues that he has regarding drainage and whatnot. Paving may have any details to be addressed. Still driveways and things like that residents have noticed water puddling in areas where it may not have puddled before, so we're working through those issues, helping to lead those. And also, one thing we're going to do before we leave the project is work with the city to make sure the storm drainage doesn't have debris left in there or anything from our construction that would impact the drainage in that neighborhood. Mansfield Street, replacement in that project, worked very closely. Spoke again with Mr. Alberson again today. We have a meeting lined up next Tuesday with Mr. Drum, city manager, and Mr. Junkin. We're going to sit down again with the contractor to again emphasize how important it is for us to get a schedule for completion. The rate of progress is a lot less than desirable still. And we're teed up really. The good news is we believe that we're very close to being able to pave some of the streets that were disturbed in there. It's just urging the contractor to make that happen. The paving contractor actually mobilized with equipment on site. The roads just weren't prepped sufficiently for them to be placing the asphalt. So Tuesday, Mr. Mayor, you may want to attend, I don't know.
I think I will be there. I'm a little upset again with the lack of progress on this project, and I've been inundated by businesses who have told me about their costs of doing business has increased, and also there should be some claims going. And I know the claims should go to the city, so this is a city project. that's happening and not a joint water project. However, we can't do this process like this again, where the contract doesn't have any incentive to complete or any penalties for its non-completion. It's been too long, and I would ensure that the city don't get involved with contracts of this nature that causes stuff like that. And I would tell John Water as well, you know, if we don't put incentive or put penalties, we get what we get, and that's why we are having this delayed problem downtown Brunswick. I don't know why this person's not working. I have no idea, and it seems that I imagine we have paid quite a bit to not just pull out. So we're at somebody's mercy, and that really doesn't lend well for making progress on things. So I appreciate what you guys are doing. I appreciate the meeting too, and I will be there. So thank you for putting that together. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Well, I imagine we'll hear out a lot of details of that meeting there. Of note, the contract hasn't submitted for payment even since April, so it's, money doesn't appear to be motivation either. Interesting with that.
They're working there. No, they're not working. They're not working. They're working 2 weeks. They got stuff sitting outside there. Good.
Well, at what point is a contract considered abandoned?
At what point can you just go ahead and terminate it?
Yeah.
Why can't you just go after his bond?
Is there legal precedent in contracts?
I don't know. I've talked to legal and talked to the legal right there. I don't know.
Depends on what the contract says. I haven't seen.
I haven't seen it either,
As a reason, getting myself in trouble with the rest of the commission. I know it's a city contract, but if you want to give it to us, to let our attorney look at it, we're more than willing to. Because we like to get the project over.
So would we. I think as we together light a fire, you know, and move it closer to the people who it needs to be, I think they get them moving. I don't think they want to sit there and burn up.
All right, thank you. 503 Canal Crossing Water Force Main Improvements. That's a Glynn County project that we worked with Glynn County on to install some water force main. And that is just in the final throes of punch list items and whatnot. We have provided our own list of punch list items to Glynn County, and they're helping us finalize those. Project 504 Canal Crossing Pump Station is an associated project. That is our contract with Ricketson Construction. That project is substantially complete, but there are still some outstanding punch list items. Ricketson is a subsidiary of East Coast. They're supposed to be in town next week. They're supposed to be addressing the canal crossing or canal road widening items as well as our pump station items next week when they remobilize back. Project 505, pump station 2032, regional force main. And that is TV Landmark out of Jacksonville, Florida, is our contractor. That project is nearing completion. All of the force main is in the ground, tested, and is functional. It's not in service yet. The contractor is at Dunbar Creek Treatment Plant right now making the tie-in and the final accommodations to discharge the networks there. A couple items left remaining are some rehab and lining of the existing gravity sewer there, coating of manholes, different things like that to accommodate this new discharge. So very soon, we're going to be able to flip the switch and see how 32 pumps directly to the treatment plant. We should see a vast improvement on the performance of that station. We'll get to do drawdown numbers. We have flow meter installed there now. We'll get to see exactly what our capacity is. So there was an issue. In situ form is a company that TV Landmark is using to do the lining. Each liner that they use is a custom fit due to the different diameters, especially when they have corroded pipe and whatnot. There was a little bit of hiccup there at the end where I don't think contractor quite knew that it was going to be about a 4-week lead time to get this custom-made sock that would be used for the liner. TV came back and asked for about 2 more weeks added to the substantial completion date, not the final. The final remains the same, July 22nd, but the substantial is under, their request is under review right now to see if it's would impact us by moving that back by 2 weeks. We don't know, staff has reviewed it and essentially doesn't see an issue with that, as long as they meet that final completion date.
Okay, are we gonna have any ceremony or anything when we complete this?
I think we should have a party of some sort. Ribbon cutting or something, definitely, I think it's worthy of that. We'll work with Mr. Junkin to see what's appropriate.
Okay.
Definitely a photo opportunity. All right, and then capital projects that aren't under construction yet, but are in some form of engineering or design. Alder Circle Project 501, that project is still on hold. It's just, again, it's other projects taking priority. It's not forgotten, but it's still on hold, awaiting reevaluation, the scope of work. We'd actually, that was to utilize some remaining county SPOS money. Bids that came in when this thing was bid for the first time were much greater than what was the pot of money that we had to use. So kind of go back to the drawing board on that one. Project 602, Holly Street Sewer Rehab, that one's essentially ready to go out to bid. Bid docs are in our office now, and it's just awaiting distribution to Kline County for bidding. We'd likely let 32 get out of the way, and then go ahead and get us some more advertising. That was going to utilize also a little bit of remaining SPOS money. 701, Pump Station 4048, Force Main Improvements. That one is still in the design category, but I believe we have signed the contract, now it's up to the contract, signed the contract. It has been awarded. TD Landmark was the lowest response bidder on that one. They, we're going to have a pre-construction meeting likely next week, and probably at least 2 pre-construction meetings is probably warrants that. But this is part of the first, ties into phase 1 of SPOS, which rerouted and extension of this force main is a key component of SPOS phase 1, which will alleviate the North Mainland capacity issues that we're seeing right now. That bid came in at about a little less than 1.5 million. Project 702, North Mainland Sewer Basin Reroute. This is the SPOS 2016 funded project. It's broken down into 4 phases. We did that to take smaller bites out of the apple at a time, try to expedite. Phase 1 I just mentioned is we received proposals. That's a design build. It's set up as a design build, and it's not quite pipe work, but it's upgrades to stations and some creative configurations to give a handful of taps available as quickly as possible. So we expect that work, the 2 proposals under review, facilities meeting next week. Staff will provide a recommendation and go to full commission after that for approval recommendation. Phase 2 will follow behind that. We're doing some preliminary engineering work, survey work, utility location, geotechnical work, prepping for that. That is going to be a section of force main extended from Canal Road, where we left off on Ogden, down to bypassing pump station 4036. Just to mention in there, and we talked before, I think it was last commission meeting or second to last commission meeting, we showed some pretty scary pictures of downstream 3/4 concrete gravity pipe that I think we're going to show this again. Not, I know Nisha was going to show something.
I'm trying to round up I'm trying to get Ray and guys, I don't see them here, to get me some detailed blow-ups.
Okay, cool. So we're currently evaluating in more depth downstream receiving sewer, and we'll likely have to incorporate some upgrades of some sort into our SPLOST project to make sure we accommodate the increased flow we're going to divert from North Mainland. So you imagine concrete pipe and a sewer over years is not a good situation. So we expect to include some, incorporate some rehabilitation of that sewer in its walls. Phase 3 is the reroute of the force main from pump station 4110 on Harry Driggers around where the canal crosses down to where we stopped during the Glynn County Joint Water Canal Road widening project, tying in there. That's going to be the big ticket item for rerouting the North Mainland sewer flow to the new route. And then phase 4 is the reroute of pump station 4039, which is in the Industrial McBride Industrial Park by the airport. Rerouting that back to Canal Road, diverting all that flow to the new direction as well. Project 703 is pump station 4003, decommission, gravity sewer improvements. Budget is 6.8, and that's per the master plan. About 3.3 million is first loss 2016. That's where that money is coming from. We are doing preliminary engineering work right now. We have a security engineer to finalize that stuff, and then we'll be going out for design work soon thereafter. But what we're doing right now is determining the scope, size of the pipe, proper routing, that type of thing. And then we'll go out for design plans, and then go out for construction. 704 is Canal Road, Glencoe Parkway, 12-inch water main loop. We budgeted $1 million for that. Glynn County is currently constructing their bridge over the Alton Canal. They're on Glencoe. And while they're doing that, while their permits are open, we're going to piggyback in a way to go ahead and install at least that section of the water main while that project is underway. So we're working real closely with the county staff and county engineer to make that happen. We've already gotten 2 prices back. We're looking for a third price to come back either day or tomorrow. That'll be a directional board about 500 feet to go ahead and get that section of water line in the ground, get out of the county's way. And we're trying to beat other utilities that are scrambling to relocate as well as part of that project. That's a 12-inch water main. That, just as a side note, the importance of that is creating the second feed or loop to the airport, McBride Industrial, all that, which is now only fed through a single 10-inch line that goes at Memorial Drive through the Fletsy campus. Last project listed is 705, Huntalla to Old Jessup, and that is a short little section that'll create another loop in our system between the former city and the former county systems. And one thing to note on that, when we made the connection at Canal Road between the 2 former systems, formerly separate systems, flows increased. It was a great move, but what we noticed afterwards is we actually started putting some more demand on our North Mainland water production facilities. They don't produce quite as high volumes as the city system does. And so it started taxing them in a way. So we'll have to go back and look, how do we get implement either some pressure reducing valves or smart valves in our system to control that. So it's, that's in progress right now. We're working with our modelers at Fort Waters Engineering, which eventually we'll bring in-house to best determine where to place those the smart valves. And that is the major list of projects there. I'm happy to discuss anything else.
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
When you guys research, how far did the city lines go out in the county?
The city, about the northernmost extent around the airport, McBride Industrial, at one time that was city infrastructure. And of course, Fletsy through north through the McBride and airport. Up 341, the extent, where was that? I'm sorry, North Commercial. North Commercial. So the lines branched, as you know, branched outside of the city limits.
Right.
Greatly. And so there's
Commissioners, any other questions?
Thank you.
Okay, we'll do the executive director's update.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've only got 2 items this afternoon. Just a reminder that we're wrapping up the preparations for the fiscal year 2018 rate resolution. We're coming up on June 14th and June 19th town hall meetings, and I'll be contacting each of you here in the immediate future to get some feedback on our presentation. We'll talk about that more early next week. The second item I wanted to bring to your attention today is, I know the last time we met, we talked about the, I guess the greater enforcement and passing the policy to be more, to transition from having $2 million in 60-day plus debt or outstanding payments to the best we can be, and getting people back into a point where all of our customers can adhere to the policy as it stands now. The staff has been making a heroic effort to go after the bigger centers out there that owe us a lot of money. And over the last 3 weeks, Colonel Boland was telling me, and John, that staff has been able to pick up $127,400 of that $2 million. So they're making some big headway, and I just want to tip my hat to them for making that Herculean effort to go after this money that we urgently need. And that's the summary from me today.
I'd like to, I just want to tag on to that one thing. We made a change in our policy that we approved when?
It was last meeting, wasn't it?
Last meeting, and that's how much they've done enforcing it. So, it's really working. I want to talk a little bit in my update on upcoming events. First of all, I'm going to be gone next week, and I'll be back on Sunday, the 11th. And then we go into a finance committee meeting on 14th, and then we have our first town hall meeting on the 14th. I think you've all been given an invite on that, and it's established on the commission calendar. And coming out of the finance committee, that'll be the final review of the budget numbers, and we'll look at everything. And then we'll have our first town hall meeting that evening. Then we'll have a commission meeting the next day. And at that point in time, we'll make another review of the budget based on everything that we know at that point. We'll have a subsequent town hall meeting on the 19th, and then we may have, depending on how the commissioners feel on the budget and what we're getting out of the town hall meetings, we may have some special call meetings before the 29th of June, but we do have a 29 June special call meeting, and that meeting will be to pass the rate resolution, the budget, and go forward then into fiscal year 18 on 1 July. So this is kind of like the big event for JWSC for the year. There are other big events, but this is where we establish the rates for our ratepayers, how we're going to manage the organization from a fee standpoint, and what our tap fees are scheduled to be. There's still some significant work that needs to be done on tap fees, and the staff is looking at tap fees as we proceed through this. So I request your patience, and please ask questions so that when we do take it to a vote. We have all the questions either answered, or at least you understand what we're asking you to do. So, that's all I have to say. Commissioners, do you have anything that you'd like to address at this time in open session? Okay, we have some issues for executive session, generally legal in nature. So could I have a motion to go into executive session?
I make a motion to go into executive session.
All those in favor, please raise your right hand. We don't anticipate any votes, do we? There will be no votes that will come out of this. And if we're all ready, let's go ahead and go into executive session. All in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, is there any other business to conduct? If not, the meeting is adjourned.